500,000 years passed. Civilizations rose and fell. Humanity? Gone, vanished without a trace. Until alien explorers stumbled upon something buried in the void. A silent fleet. Colossal. Intact. And waiting. Because humans didn't die, they left a warning. They called it the Graveyard of Light. In the farthest edges of the galactic spiral, where stars thinned into darkness and radiation storms raged like gods in battle, there drifted a field of massive, ancient constructs, blackened hulls the size of moons, engines silent for epochs, weapons frozen mid-deployment. No signal, no heat, no movement. The young alien surveyor ship HFY Dawn wasn't supposed to be there. It had been diverted by gravitational drift during a mapping mission, pulled off course by what the crew thought was a rogue planetoid. What they found instead were the ships. Cyril Vaught, lead Xenotech specialist, hovered inside the bridge of the alien cruiser, staring wide-eyed at the feed. "Those aren't wrecks," she whispered. "They're intact." Commander Nelvixrow clicked his mandibles. "You're sure?" Cyril nodded slowly. "No decay, no micrometeorite erosion. That plating, it's stronger than anything we've cataloged. And that symbol on the hull." Everyone stared at the strange emblem. A circle of stars behind a stylized predatory creature, open jaws, fangs bared. "Terran," Nelvix muttered. The word fell like a curse. The crew went quiet. Every civilization knew of the Terrans, humans. The apex race that vanished 500,000 years ago after burning across the stars like a wildfire. They had no empire, no central homeworld that could be traced. Just whispers of ancient wars, of worlds turned to glass, of machines that fought like gods. And then nothing. Gone. Vanished. They didn't die, Cyril breathed. They slept. HFY Dawn maneuvered closer to one of the colossal vessels. Its hull bore battle scars, but the ship remained whole. More than whole. Dormant. Why would they do this? The helmsman asked. Why vanish and leave this behind? Insurance, Nelvix answered darkly. In case something ever threatened the galaxy enough that they'd need to wake. But who would they wake for? The crew sent a probe. It skimmed across the hull, brushing over ancient armor. Signals were fired, carefully modulated, respectful, low frequency. The probe vanished. No explosion, no flash, just silence. And then the fleet pulsed. Dozens of ships lit with a dull red glow, like the embers of a sleeping beast taking its first breath. Ancient systems began powering up, one at a time, in cascading sequence. They're activating. No, we only pinged one. Nelvix turned to Cyril. What did we do? The Eshari ship backed away, fear rising, but it was already too late. A voice spoke through every channel, not with sound, but thought. Cold. Human. Query received. Protocol 1 activated. Threat assessment, incomplete. Initiating observation mode. Cyril shook. They're watching us. The ships didn't fire. They didn't move. But now the galaxy knew they were alive. Waiting. A fleet of Terran war machines older than any civilization still breathing. And then came the real horror. The galactic net lit up. Hundreds of races, watching in real time, saw what the Eshari found. Panic rippled across empires. Fleets scrambled. Politicians debated. Historians wept. Because the last time a Terran fleet had appeared, entire star systems had gone dark. And no one knew why they were built. The Eshari were ordered to return. But Cyril stayed. Alone in a scout pod, she drifted silently near the lead ship. Why are you here? She asked. No answer came. But something stirred. A hatch on the side of the ship unsealed. Dust scattered into the void. A single pod emerged, smooth, black, humming. Cyril's heart froze. It moved toward her. Inside, a figure. Human. Frozen in cryosleep. The pod hovered between the ancient warship and Cyril's small scout vessel, its smooth black surface reflecting the dim starlight. A thin layer of frost covered its cryoglass, and through it, clear as prophecy, was the sleeping face of a human. Male. Mid-30s, perhaps. Muscular frame, dressed in matte black combat armor, chestplate marked with the same emblem etched across the ancient fleet. Earth's forgotten symbol. Cyril's breath caught. They left themselves behind, she whispered. Guardians, frozen in time. Her console pinged. The pod was broadcasting a signal, encoded in an archaic version of human standard. She initiated translation. Executor Unit 01 online. Observation compromised. Manual activation protocol engaged. Preparing for surface recon. Her hands trembled as she typed a message. Who are you? The reply came instantly. Humanity's blade. Awaiting mission parameters. The pod's casing peeled back with a hydraulic hiss. The man's eyes snapped open. Cyril recoiled in awe and fear. He didn't gasp for breath or flinch from the cold. He simply sat up and stared, sharp eyes scanning his surroundings with surgical precision. He rose. No hesitation. No words. A moment later, a narrow beam from the mothership latched onto the pod and reeled it back. The scout vessel's systems shivered, readings off the charts. Power levels in the Terran fleet surged. Lines of red light pulsed across the hulls. Weapons, shields, engines, and then movement. The lead battleship rotated. For the first time in 500,000 years, a Terran vessel moved under its own will. Galactic space went into chaos. Emergency summits, military standbys, spy drones dispatched. The humans were awakening, but no one knew their purpose. Some feared they were returning to finish old wars. Others believed they were merely responding to a signal, defensive, perhaps. One faction even called it divine judgment, the return of mankind to purge a galaxy grown weak and corrupt. Within hours, the human executor had fully integrated with the warship systems. It wasn't a man operating a ship. It was a ship with a man's soul. Cyril's vessel remained in observation orbit, cloaked and silent. The executor never addressed her again, but he knew she was there. She could feel it. Then came the message. A single transmission from the Terran ship, broadcast across open space. You are not the threat, but the threat is coming. We will stand where none can. That same day, the galactic outer rim flared with screams. An unknown force emerged from intergalactic space, living machines, endless and hungry. They tore through colonies in minutes. Faster than light. More advanced than any known species. The galaxy, fragmented and selfish, wasn't ready. But the humans were. Without permission, without alliance, the Terran fleet powered forward. Their ancient engines roared like gods breathing fire. One ship alone halted an entire machine vanguard. Others followed. Precision strikes. No mercy. The galaxy watched in stunned silence. Cyril received a private transmission. It was the executor's voice, calm, low, resolute. We slept until needed. Now we rise until it ends. And just like that, humanity was back. Not as conquerors, not as diplomats, but as the last line between life and extinction. Across the stars, alien worlds once terrified of human myths now whispered one phrase. The Guardians have awakened. And Cyril, aboard her tiny vessel, wept, not from fear, but from hope. Because for the first time in her species' history, someone powerful had come not to rule, but to protect.